Transfree enable people to send money everywhere and to make payment anywhere. We bridging the differences between financial system, between platforms, between countries, and between currency. So, it's me, Krisman here from Transfree. We are asking for $1 million for 20% equity. Transfree enable people to send money everywhere and to make payment anywhere. We bridging the differences between financial system, between platforms, between countries, and between currency. There are $200 billion market size each year in Southeast Asia. It's a big number. And our goal is to get 30% from this huge market. And by doing so, we will have the potential revenue of $600 million annual revenue. You know, it was hard, challenging, and tough to get a money transfer license. For us, it took 2 years to finally get the license. Now that we have the license, we are ready to go big, to run very, very fast. Not to mention that now we are in the ideal ecosystem for financial industry. In the past couple years, we have more than 50,000 registered customers with total GMV $4 million. And every single day, we have at minimum 75 new registered customers. Quite good number, isn't it? And we received grant from the Ministry of Research and Technology. We joined incubation in Indonesia and overseas, and we make partnership with community in Indonesia, local and international. So we have the support from the government, community, and we have the approval from the regulator. All of the team come from the best university in Indonesia, from ITB, UI, ITS, BINUS. So you are in a good hand. We are the people who can do the execution. In the next 5 years, we project that we will have at minimum $50 million annual GMV. And by doing that, we will have $500K annual revenue. So, what are you waiting for? Thank you.
Edward, you and I were on that committee that selected this company as part of that grant thing 2.5 years ago. That's why the name was so familiar. So tell me something. I have seen you before. Face the camera, no problem. What's different? Why do your customers use you? There are 1,000 such apps with or without license. How does it help?
Sure, thank you, Panalin. First of all, is that we are not going to compete in price or discount like any big companies can do that, and we will die instantly. But by doing a localized feature and doing one-stop solutions, there will be one of the killer solutions to compete in the big market. And moreover, we can go to the blue ocean, to the very niche and segmented market, like doing healthcare payment and getting a very, very close connection engagement with SMEs for export and import. So there's a very huge potentials. And by doing many features dedicated to them, this will solve all the problems and give us even a small piece of cake on this huge market will give us a big potential in the future.
Any questions from the panel? I think, Billy, you can start.
Okay. Berapa persen charge-nya kalau transfer dari luar negeri ke Indonesia?
Kalau saat ini Pak, kita ambil average 1%.
1%?
1%.
Wow. Oke. Terus kedepannya ada nggak feature maybe you can transfer from crypto to rupiah?
Yeah. For the feature, for now in our roadmap, we have several ongoing features on the productions. And also it is including in upgrading our license to become e-wallet license later on. So can you imagine later on tourists come to Bali And like now, so many people come to Indonesia, foreigner, very hard, and being confused by seeing everyone using GoPay and using OVO just to scan and pay. They cannot do that. One story, I go to Bali and I see one foreigner go to the money exchanger, get the cash, go to Alfamart just to top up GoPay. So later on, we will enable everyone, in particular in Southeast Asia, to have the ability to use everything, to pay everything, to send money to anywhere using one app. That's the end goal, Pak.
Okay, how many tech do you have?
For now, we have dedicated 3 people for the tech team, and also we have outsourced to more people. So it's 5 in total, Pak.
Okay. Okay. What kind tech do you have to scale the system?
For now, we have people who really know how to integrate API on the back end, and also how to develop the front end, and also to develop the iOS and the Android apps, Pak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Edward.
Yeah. We are about to launch a cross-border e-commerce platform. Yeah. Can we use that app, your solution for a trade finance type of transactions, payment?
Sure, Pak, definitely. One also, the trend now is cross-border commerce, cross-border payment services, and even one of our customers are importing goods from China to sell in Shopee or Tokopedia, so it's very doable.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Pak.
Ivan?
Just a quick comment, not a question. Because I was involved in this remittance business for a number of years before with Bank Mandiri. They focus on just a handful of countries where a lot of remittances are taking places. That is Hong Kong, South Korea, Malaysia. Because there are a lot of Indonesian migrant workers who are working there, and they're continuously sending money back to Indonesia to their family. In order to attract the customers so that they will use their service, Bank Mandiri is also doing some sort of a bundling. So if they do remittance via Bank Mandiri, where Bank Mandiri will also charge a percentage fee, however, they will also get something back from Bank Mandiri, which is, for example, they can get a free ticket to pilgrimage, Hajj. And lastly, Bank Mandiri is also offering, for example, education program so that they can eventually start their own business with a small, medium enterprise when they go back home, which is very attractive for many of them. And then they will all go to Bank Mandiri to have the remittance service from them. How do you think you want to compete with strategies like that? I mean, this is something for you to think about, not to answer me, because, I mean, you could say, yeah, my service is probably the cheapest one right now, but if someone is offering something else, which is more valuable rather than just a cheap fee, I think, I mean, that would be something that you should think about.
Yeah. So that's something for you to think. You want to respond to that?
Yes. Okay, thank you, Pak. That's the fact and the data. However, now we are most likely focusing on sending money from Indonesia to overseas, Pak. Not the vice versa. For the TKI market is roughly about 13 billion, but when we talk about B2B market, and now so many people are doing just tip from overseas, and they send money from Indonesia to overseas. So this is a different market than the TKI actually, Pak.
Okay, anybody from the panel? Addison?
Yeah, I have a question. So Chris, when you are doing international remittances, are you tied up with local banks or international banks? Because international clearances will require an AD bank in between.
Sure.
Have you any B2B commercial partnerships already signed?
Yeah. Well, technically, we are working with an aggregator, like in Singapore companies who provide us many access to different currencies, different corridors. So we only need to tap into 1 or 2 aggregators to have access to all over the world.
And you are getting paid from the transaction fee from the platform. So like if you're assisting a Visa payment, Visa collects the fees and gives you, or you collect it at source and then distribute it back to Visa?
Well, actually, it's vice versa. We pay them for the service, so they are like the bulk aggregator. And for instance, we get 1% for each transactions, and we share the profit to the aggregator, 0.3% or 0.2%. So our COGS will be 0.8%.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else on Zoom?
Saya ada satu pertanyaan, yaitu what is your average transaction size? Misalnya customer mau kirim berapa uang? Itu what is the size approximately?
We have two average types of transactions. First one is retail. Retail, the average size is 1,000 US dollar. So it's 10 juta rupiah. And for the B2B is 5,000. So that's two main average transfer size.
Okay. Any interest to speak to this entrepreneur further? Anybody? I have one. Okay.
I'll also speak to him.
Sure. So I have two. We'll connect you to him, to both of them. Thank you very much. Good to see you again after a few years. All the best.
Thank you. Halo semuanya. Perkenalkan, nama saya Krisman, CEO dan founder dari Transfree. Kami adalah perusahaan pengiriman uang antar negara yang saat ini dapat mengirimkan uang ke lebih dari 40 mata uang. Dan sangat senang bisa ikut berkolaborasi dan bertemu dengan banyak pengusaha-pengusaha lain dengan investor dalam acara Indonesia Fun Fest 2021. Saya berharap dan juga teman-teman yang lain, acara ini dapat tetap berlangsung dengan lebih bagus lagi ke depannya dan dengan lebih meriah lagi. Terima kasih.